So up top I have the Raspberry Holy Night and the Chocoholic. This Raspberry Holy Night is raspberry with brownie in it. So good, it's a game changer. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about journaling. So journaling lately for me has been very therapeutic. It has been encouraging me to be more creative. It's been keeping my life organized, and the best thing is you can do whatever you want with it. So it's not for everyone, but I just wanted to share with you what I have been doing. First we have my bullet journal. I use this journal for a bunch of different things. The first page is a bucket list of things I want to do. Then I wanted something to keep me accountable for cleaning, so I made like a cleaning chart and what I do daily, weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly. Don't mind my little drawings, I'm not the best artist, but I try. This year, one of my biggest goals was to drink more water, so I wrote a bunch of tips on what to do to help me drink more water. Then I started my year. So this year is the year of the dog. I attempted to draw a dog. It's kind of cute, I think. Then I made my New Year's resolutions for 2018. The next page is my goals that I had for 2018 up until August. So I accomplished most of my goals, which was a really great feeling. Then when I was still living in America, I was kind of noting down the movies that I watched in theater. I kind of drifted away from that, but I thought this page was really cute. I just don't go to the movies anymore since I'm living in Japan. Whenever I do move back to the US, I would continue on with this. And then here are movies that I want to watch eventually. I just have not got around to it yet. Restaurants in Reno I wanted to try, but I never finished that. But you know, it's okay. I just like practicing different layouts of the bullet journaling. Here is my page for birthdays. Every balloon is a different month, and I included all my friends and family who was born in those months. And then we started off with January. I actually didn't start using my bullet journal until later on in the year, I'd say maybe March, but I wanted to make these pages anyway just to practice my layouts and doodling. So here we have January and February. March is when I started this. So in March, I tried to do a sleep tracker. As you can see, I only got through 6 days, but that's okay. I have a monthly layout here and then a habit tracker. Also didn't track after the 24th. But you know, like I said, you just have to try and see what you like to do and what kind of bullet journaling pages fit your life. And I tried a spending vlog, which I still do, but I don't use this journal for it anymore. I used another journal. Then I did weekly pages. So this was for 1 week in March. I would just write how my day went, any plans that I had, and then I would also try to keep track of my meals to plan. I found that planning out my meals helps me with spending as well as eating healthy. For a while I was doing weekly planning, but I eventually drifted away from that, as we will see later on. So here's my April one, the monthly calendar. Habit tracker I tried again, still didn't really finish it. Another spending log, and then I kind of continued on with my weekly planning. As you can see, I didn't really fill it up, but I did keep up with my meal planning. Hey, this week I actually wrote stuff down, and now it's kind of cool to go back and read over that. So in April, I also did the whole 30, so I tracked down all my measurements, and then I wanted to journal in here how it was going, but then I made an Instagram for my whole 30 journey, which I now use as my Japan Instagram. And here's notes that I use this for. Got into the JET program, so that happened. And May. Then in May, I decided that the weekly planner wasn't working out for me, so I just made a bigger monthly calendar, and then I started jotting notes down as for what I did and my plans that I had. June, I was busy with summertime moving and stuff, so I didn't really do anything. My markers started bleeding, so don't mind these next couple of pages, sorry. In July, I didn't actually journal, but at the end of the month, I went back and I reflected on what I did for most of the days, just because I was living at home again and there was a lot I was doing. So this is just a page because it was bleeding through. And in August is when I really got back into journaling since I moved to Japan. So every day I write down like what I did and then how I felt. So some days I'm really happy, some days I'm sad, some days I'm happy but not as happy as other days, kind of a thing. So I just use this to keep track of birthdays, my plans, my moods, and everything. It's really nice to come back after some time and read over what I did, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember that day. That day was really fun, or that day sucked a lot, you know, kind of a thing. And then you can't really read it because of the markers that I was still using. I started reflecting every month about how my month went, how I felt, anything I did, goals that I wanted to achieve in the next month. So as you can see, like I started challenging myself and some reminders to myself to help me feel better about who I am. And then this is September. Don't mind my ugly drawings because I wasn't feeling very creative this day, I guess. So September is a lot more colorful. I got more pens. September was my birthday month, and I also added some quotes around the edges to just help me adjust to this new lifestyle that I was living. And these were my goals for September. And I just wrote down everything I did throughout the day, still keeping track of my moods. Yeah. So this is my September review. You can see this one a lot more because of the pen I was using. These were the goals that I set in August, and as you can see, I achieved all of them. So this is why I like journaling. It keeps me accountable for everything that I want to do in my life. I can just document a lot of my feelings. Then I wrote how I felt this month, what I realized, and then some reminders to myself, and again, a challenge. So these were basically like my goals for October. And here is some things that I was thankful for in September. So going into October, I still am using some quotes around the edges. I wrote my goals over here. I like this layout. I can see the full month, and then I can write down what I do every day, how I feel every day. And like I said, you can do whatever you want with journaling, but this is what I found worked for me. And after October, again, I reflected on my goals that I set into September. I accomplished most of them. In October, I wrote down some realizations that I had, how I felt throughout October, and then again, reminders and things to be thankful for. Then I decided I wanted to set some traveling goals for the rest of the year. So here I wrote down some places that I want to travel. Same thing for 2019. I want to do all these things next year, so we'll see. Hopefully it all happens. And now we're stepping into November. Well, since November is the month of Thanksgiving, I wrote down all the things that I'm thankful for, and I was also practicing some of my lettering on this page. So here we are in November. Still sticking with that old layout, quotes around the edges to just help with my self-love. I wrote down some goals, more goals, and then in the middle I wrote down hobbies that I really want to start picking up. And every day I write down what I do and how I feel. So some days I'm happier than others, some days I am more lazy. I really like journaling as a way for me to document everything that's going on in my life. So this here is just a regular notebook. I use this a couple times as a diary. I just write down like what I'm really feeling when I'm overwhelmed. But in the back, I have an ongoing list of all kinds of stuff. So this is my forever list. This is like things that I always want to remember and I always want to work on. And then I have like a list of things that I realized, and I just add on to it whenever I come to a realization about something. And here's like couple goals, because I'm like watching all these really cute couples that I hope I can one day find in my life. I know it's really cheesy. You know, I'm single, I'm lonely, so just let me have it, okay? This here is a list of things to just remind me who I am and things I'm working on and what I want to work towards. Some quotes that I liked, but I haven't really added on to it in a while, so I need to get on that. And then I just use this really as a notebook, so I'll continue on with it eventually. This is my journal my friends gave to me before I left the mainland. They're so sweet. So at first I was using it as a journal. I was using it as like a diary about when I initially moved back home to Hawaii and like all my feelings. And then I left for Japan and I realized I needed a notebook, so this became my notebook. All of my friends included a little message in here. So as I go throughout this journal, I get to read whatever message that they wrote to me. It's so sweet. Then I realized I needed a planner, so I started making a planner. I guess it was on the 24th of August that I decided that every day I was gonna write 3 things that I was thankful for. So every day I would kind of like write what I did in each of my classes at work, and then I would also write about what I was thankful for. I had a to-do list. So you're gonna see how my planner progressed. So these are like the classes that I had. So first years for class 1. And I still also use it as a notebook. So here and there I take notes. So as you can see, I wrote down a list of places that I want to go and visit and what there is to do there. Planning trips. This is where I started my much loved MEesh. This is where I initially started brainstorming, but then I realized I needed a separate notebook for that. So this is where a lot of my initial planning begins, and then another message from a friend. And then as you can see, this is where I got new pens. So, and there's a little bit more color. I'm still writing my everyday, what I'm thankful for. And then I also started writing a to-do list. So that's how I'm actually journaling currently. What I do during the day, the classes I taught, how they went, and then what I'm thankful for, and then my to-do list. So that's kind of like the layout I've been sticking with. The reason why I write down what happens in my classes is because I need to do a school report every day. I need to report about how my classes went, if there was any problems that arise. Usually there's nothing bad that happens, but I just note down a couple words so that I remember how each class went. I really like doing the what I'm thankful for just because it always reminds me that even if I'm having a bad day, there's always something to be thankful for. It could be the biggest thing, the smallest thing, you know, I just jot down whatever. My to-do list, usually I jot down things throughout the day that I want to accomplish at nighttime once I get home. So cleaning, cooking, all that stuff. Sometimes I don't get around to things, but it's okay because later on, the next day or whatever, I might get to it. I always try to put exercising on my to-do list just because if it's here, I am more likely to actually do it. So that's really been helping me out. And I really enjoy it just because it prevents me from just scrolling through social media all night. So if I need something to do, there's always something on my to-do list. This night I didn't even get to lettering, so you know, it just keeps me busy. So on November 9th, I decided to start writing 3 things that I like about myself, just for me to practice self-love and self-care. I write 3 things that I like about myself, whether it's my personality, skills that I have, physical body parts, whatever. I just write it all down over here. This is where we are today. Today's the 15th of November, but I just wanted to make my journal for December since I'm already starting to plan for stuff. But yeah, so this is my planner, and it's very helpful. It keeps me very organized. So like I said earlier, I still keep track of my spendings, but I just do it in the back of this journal that I'm using. Whenever I spend money, I try to write down where I spent it and what I bought, and then the date and how much I spent. I'm not really a huge spender anyway, but I just like to buy a lot of food and eat out a lot. But yeah, guys, that's my planner. Hopefully this will be all filled by the end of my time in Japan. I can't wait to read all of my friends' notes that they left me. Can you imagine that I didn't read it yet? So, buy a journal, make it happen. If you need any ideas, you can always ask me. You can look on Pinterest. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Much love.